So, hey, I'm Brandon, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the work I've done on children's beliefs about what can and can't happen. So, there's this really cool finding where young children usually say that strange and unlikely things aren't possible. And I know that seems unlikely, but it's true, and it keeps happening across a bunch of studies. So, what we found is that when you ask children whether or not a person could do something like have a pet lion, or drink onion juice, or eat a pickle flavored popsicle, or wear pajamas to work, stuff like that, stuff that's unlikely but also kind of weird and strange, children say that people can't do those things. And by children, I mean usually around ages 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little bit older than that. And that's really interesting. So what I've been doing for the past few years is been trying to figure out why children think people can't do those things, and I guess on the flip side, why adults think people can. So if you ask adults these same questions, adults usually say that these things are possible, but children say they aren't. So I want to understand the development of reasoning about possibility, and how we come to think about strange and unlikely events. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the stuff that I've been doing to figure out how children and adults reason about whether things can or can't happen. So what I found so far, or what my work suggests, is that people think things are possible when they know that something similar has already happened. Now, that might not be the only way we reason about possibility, but it looks like it's important. So in one study, what I did was I told children about strange things and then asked them whether or not other similar strange things could happen. So for instance, I told children, hey look, this person has a pet elephant. See, this elephant's actually their pet. And I showed them a picture and all that cool stuff. And then I was like, so could a person also have a pet zebra? And keep in mind, children usually say that a person can't have a pet zebra. But now, once I've told them about a person having a pet elephant, they're like, well, yeah, sure, a person could have a pet zebra. And if I told them about something else that was weird, like, look, here's a person and they're drinking broccoli juice. Could a person also have a pet zebra? Children said no. So what it looks like is it looks like children use knowledge of similar things and knowing that something similar is possible to reason that, well, if this thing can happen, then maybe this other thing could happen too. And it looks like that might be a really important way in which children reason about possibility. One other cool thing I've found is that it looks like knowing how things might happen isn't enough to lead children to think things are possible. And I'll try to explain that. So basically, I told children how to make normal things, like, I don't know, a strawberry flavored popsicle, or, what's another one? Apple juice. And these are things that children think are possible. But I told them how these things could happen, and kind of like in a nice detailed way. Like, here's a step-by-step process for making these things. Then I asked them, well, could a person also have onion juice? Or could a person also have a pickle flavored popsicle? And children said no. But what I just told them was a process to make these things, and they still were hesitant to say that these things were possible. But when I told them how to make a weird thing, like an onion flavored popsicle or something like that, well, then children were like, okay, now I know how to apply this process to this thing you're asking me about. And now they thought these things were possible. So it looks like thinking about how things could happen is important, but only when you can draw connections between things you know about and these things that we're asking children about, these weird, strange events. If they can connect these things to something they know about, then maybe knowing how it could happen is important. But it looks like without being able to make that connection, it's kind of difficult for children. And it might be difficult for adults too, but I'll let you know. So that's a little bit about my research. Thanks for being interested, and I'll keep you updated on what I find next. Thanks.